Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. And today we are going to actually talk about some interesting features of JavaScript. And we are going to build a game basically with the help of JavaScript live. Okay. And I guess everyone here know like basic JavaScript, right? Some fundamentals of JavaScript. Everybody knows. Am I audible? Let me manage the screen. Yeah. So yes. So okay, great. So everybody is kind of aware of what is basic JavaScript, right? How to create a variable. No, Gajanan is saying no. Okay. So no problem. It's very simple. So I guess you know what is how to create a. This is not a front end session, Ishan. This is purely JavaScript for creating a game, basically. So in JavaScript, I guess you already have some knowledge on what is a variable, right? Even if not in JavaScript, maybe in Python. So what is a variable? What is an array? What is a for loop, right? I guess you all of you have those knowledge. Even if you don't know JavaScript, you know at least those fundamentals, right? So in JavaScript also is pretty much same. It is the same way. So no need to worry about. And how many of you we can use? No, actually, I am not going to use VS Code. I'm going to use a different platform, Vinay. I'm going to tell you that it's a new platform I'm going to introduce with you, which is quite exciting for writing JavaScript. And so tell me how many of you actually know. Yes, yes, it will going to be fruitful because no, not Code Sandbox. I'll tell you, it's a surprise. It's a surprise. So it will be completely fruitful for you because the platform I'm going to use is used heavily for doing data science projects, but we are going to use JavaScript. So it's not a data science project, it's a purely JavaScript project, but we are going to use an exciting platform. Okay. Yeah, that will work. Arpit. Just basics of JavaScript is more than enough. Okay. So tell me how many of you guys actually heard of this game called a Flappy Bird. Okay, I'm writing. Yeah, that's not a problem. I'll talk in simple terms. Okay, so even if you don't know JavaScript, if you know some other language also, it will work. How many of you actually heard of this game Flappy Bird? Flappy Bird. Okay, you have played. Okay, fantastic. So many people have heard of it, many people have played it, some people don't know it, never heard of it. So before going into the details, just let me introduce myself. So my name is Jyotirmoy and I am an online coding instructor with AlmaBetter. And my background is computer science. I've done my bachelor's in computer science and master's in computer science. And I have worked in several companies, including Apple, General Electric, and many others as a front-end and back-end developer. And my favorite language is JavaScript. Yeah, it was a quite viral game. Yeah, it was actually very viral. So let's discuss about that. So let me share with you one slide actually, which I have prepared. And where is that slide? So, okay. So guys, can you see my slide? Okay, is it visible? The Flappy Bird, the guided project Flappy Bird, is it visible? Okay, fantastic, awesome. So let's, if you guys already, yeah, Vinay, tell me. Vinay, tell me what suggestion you need. Yes, Vinay. Okay, so I think Vinay is not responding, so I'll just move on. So basically, if you haven't heard about, we need VS Code only, need to install. No, today's project, we don't need, when I will actually write the code, we don't need VS Code. I will introduce you something new. That's a surprise. It is, you can say it is for both, but it is more inclined towards web development and JavaScript. There is actually no data science thing here. Yeah, there are some JavaScript new concepts I'm going to introduce. Actually, Replit is also good, but no, it's not Replit. No, you can use any editor. If there are multiple editors which are available in the market. There is something called Sublime Text. There's something called Atom. There is VS Code. So I personally prefer VS Code a lot because it's very fast and smooth, and you can install a lot of plugins. So I generally use VS Code, but you can use something else, whatever you are comfortable with. Okay. So let's start with the today's. Yeah, everybody can attend this session. This session is going to be fun. Just it's for the love of coding. Okay, just to kickstart your JavaScript interest. That's all. We can write Node.js. We can write anything. We can write Java, PHP, Python, everything you can write in VS Code. VS Code is a coding editor. You can write whatever you want. Okay, it's completely up to you. You have to just install the plugin that will help you to like autocomplete and stuff. That's it. Okay. Yeah, Mitesh. So let's start. So if you guys already don't know what is a Flappy Bird, okay? Yeah, just follow. Just follow this. Just follow. No need to worry. You will get interest at the end of the session. I guarantee you will develop some interest on JavaScript. Okay. So there is nothing to install for today's code. Nothing to install. I'll send you a link. It's an online editor. It's something similar to Replit, but it is not Replit. You have nothing that you have to install for today's code. Okay. It's very simple and very fun. It will be fun. Okay. So if you guys don't, yeah, for today's session, no need to install VS Code, Node.js, nothing. We are not going to use React. We are going to use plain JavaScript. No CodePen. It is not CodePen. It is something new. That's why you guys already know CodePen, Code Sandbox, JS Code, and many other things. But this is something new. Okay. Okay. So in general, yeah, you should install VS Code for general because VS Code is very good. So you for practicing Node.js programs or JavaScript or any other thing, VS Code, I would recommend to install VS Code. Okay, there is nothing like VS Code. No. If you have already installed VS Code, that is fine, Gaurav. But today's session, I'm using an online editor, which is a new thing, new introduction. So forget about everything. Initially, I will explain something on VS Code, but finally, I'll move on to the online editor. Yeah, you'll get the record. You'll get the recording. There are lots of autocomplete sessions. I'll talk about that. It's better actually because this is not a VS Code session. So what I suggest is you keep your questions for which are not related to this session, and we'll talk about it at the end. Okay. There are lots and lots, so we can just search some autocomplete and for JavaScript. There are hundreds of gazillions of plugins, so you can install one of them. So yeah, you can. I'll send you my email address and LinkedIn ID. So at the end of the session, so you can connect me directly, and I will answer all your questions. Okay. So we can focus on today's topic. Okay. So let's concentrate on the current topic, which is a Flappy Bird project. So if you guys have already don't know about Flappy Bird, so let's talk about it. Okay. So if you can you see my slide? Can you see my PowerPoint, guys? Yeah. Okay. So Flappy Bird was a mobile game. Okay. It is a mobile game. It was developed by a Vietnamese video game artist. So the guy was a artist at the same time he was a programmer. So both of them. So he basically designed and developed the game. Okay. His name was Don Nguyen. Okay. Yeah. It's a cool game. It's a cool game. the player controls the bird. Okay, the player basically, whoever is playing the game, it controls a bird, and the bird is attempting to fly between the columns of pipes without hitting them. So as a player, what's your job is to make the bird go through the pipes. And if you hit the pipe, either it is game over or it is a reduction in the score. Okay, that's the game. It's a very simple game. Basically, you have to make the bird fly through pipes. There is an upper pipe and there is a lower pipe. So in between, the bird will fly through. That's the game. And if you hit the pipes, you lose score or your game is over. So in whichever way you want to implement, that's all. That's it. Okay. So the game was released in 2013. Immediately within a year, it became a huge hit. Okay. And the Flappy Bird game was removed from Google Play and iPad Store because he was making so much money. So he felt guilty. He said like, okay, I'm making $50,000 per day. How much is $50,000? If you calculate, it is almost 40 lakh rupees per day that guy was making from Google Play and iCloud. Okay. So he felt guilty. So he said, okay, I have earned. So within a month, he becomes multi-millionaire. Okay. So if you multiply, 50,000 with 30. So how much it is? Maybe 1.5 million or 15 million, something like that. So he can become multi-millionaire within a month. And he is removed that actually, the game. Okay. So if I want to show you how the game is, I'll just have a YouTube video. Is the video visible? Let me share this. Is the video visible? YouTube video, guys? Okay. So this is the game. Okay. You have to go through the pillars. And if you hit the pillars, you lose points. That's it. That is the game. Okay. So now, what I'm going to do, okay, let's come back to the, is the PPT visible again, back or no? I have to, I think, select the PPT. Okay. Yeah. So PPT. Okay. So you understood the game, right? Everybody understood the game. PUBG is a very high level game, very high level game. And PUBG is a very complex game. PUBG is not this simple. So I think there is a team of maybe hundreds of people, they have developed PUBG. This is a single person who developed the game. So it's a simple game. So there is no comparison between PUBG and this thing, Flappy Bird, right? So next thing is, there are lots of different ways. PUBG can be made using Unity. Okay, PUBG can be made using Unity. It can be done. Unity is possibly the finest platform and for this type of games, very complex games. Also, there is another called some engine, Unreal Engine or something, which is used to make these games like very complex games. Okay, Fortnite and all that. These are made by Unreal Engine. So that is another platform. So that I think you can use if you are really that kind of a game freak or game. Yeah. So those type of platforms are used. Okay. So I'm not very much into like game like actual 3D game development. I'm more into like JavaScript side. So I'm not sure actually. I'm not into that too much. But I think for Unity it is C# is there, and for Unreal Engine I'm not sure. Maybe Java, maybe something else. Okay. Okay. So we can actually implement Flappy Bird in different ways. Okay, there are different ways we can implement. One is we can use pure HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, we can use pure HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And I have a very simple, very simple implementation of HTML, CSS, JavaScript using with VS Code. I will show. Let me show you. Just give me a moment. There are too many files, so let me share with you. Yeah. So if you can see, I have a project which I found on the GitHub. This is not that I have developed, but I have a index.html. So it's the simplest way of implementing the concept of Flappy Bird. Okay, there are no images also, just some simple things here, HTML and CSS. So it has a block, div block, which has an ID of block, which it has another hole, means the gap between the blocks, between the pipes. And the third one is the character, which is I am using an circle here. Okay, and that's the HTML. That's it. That is the simplest way you can implement. I guess the screen is visible, right? VS Code, guys, is it visible? VS Code screen. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I will share. I will share at the end of this session. You will get the complete code which I am going to develop today. Okay? So no need to worry about it. And there is a little bit of CSS is written, okay, just to create the pillars and the colors. Very simple, only 40 lines of CSS code. But main thing is the JavaScript. So I am not going to do this code. This is not that I am going to do. I am just giving you an example that Flappy Bird type of game can be also implemented with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It is up to you. If you want to write, you can write. Or if you just want to concentrate on understanding the concept, you can concentrate on understanding it. And because at the end of the session, I'll give you the link where you can find the complete code. So it's up to you. It's a 2 hours session. Okay. So there are lots of different things. Okay, it has created, this variables, character blocks, and there is an event listener. Okay, bunch of methods it has used, set intervals. See, I'm already a little bit annoyed and confused with this coding somebody has developed, and it looks very complex. Okay, and then there is a jump method, and then that's it. One jump method is there. Yeah, that is the I think Pratik is going to take care of that. He's going to put it on the later. So there is a set interval method. There is an add event listener. And this question I get a lot. I actually totally forgot because I was watching a YouTube, and that guy has put the theme name at the below in the description. So I just clicked it and it got installed. And since then I'm using it. It happened 6 months ago. So I totally forgot. Sorry about that. My apologies. It's not that I don't want to tell you, nothing like that. I totally forgot the theme name. Okay? So I get this question a lot. So which theme? This looks great. So I don't remember which theme. So this is a plain and simple like functional JavaScript. You're using add event listener. So when you click anything on using your mouse, the bird basically jumps up, and you have to basically try to make it move through the pipes. So let's run the game and see how it looks. Okay, open with live server. Yes. And once it is done, it's the simplest way. So don't get angry, sir, why the design is so bad, because it's just the conceptual implementation. Okay. So is the design visible, guys? The output. So it's like you have to basically click and you have to make it. So the moment it goes through, see, this is using HTML, CSS. Oops. So I'm not able to make even more than one. Okay. Okay. So this is the simplest way. Okay. This is one way. This is one way of doing it. Okay. Yes, it's a bouncing ball. It's a bouncing ball. Yeah, simple. And I don't like it personally. So let's change it to. So now I'm going to show you something which is 3D game. Okay, it's a platform called HatchXR, which is also cool, and where we have implemented using 3D. Okay, so if you can see that screen. Okay, so let's say I play the game. Let's say I reduce this a little bit. Okay, it's a 3D game. Can you see the 3D platform? This is another way. Guys, can you see the 3D game? Yeah, so it's a 3-dimensional way of creating Flappy Bird. So you have to take the game but through the pipes, and the pipes are not uneven way. There are some lower pipe is in a different position, the upper pipe is in a different position. And once you go through the space, basically what it does, it's actually adds one more point. Okay. So I feel like I'm on a Twitch TV or something. A live game streaming happening, kind of stuff. Okay. So I am also not going to implement this because this is a completely 3D game development. So we are not here for like a purely game. This is not a game development class. And this has been done with the help of JavaScript. Okay. So let's stop the game here now. Okay. So if you see, the pipes are present in a circular way all over this place. Okay. And you are basically okay. Yeah, I'll explain that. It's my favorite as well. Web 3.0. Okay, and it's a huge code. Okay, this is written in HatchXR. It's a JavaScript, but little archived. Meaning there are some predefined methods which is a part of this platform. I'm not going to use this also. Okay, so don't. So this is not the surprise platform. This is HatchXR. This is called HatchXR. So it's a huge line of code. It's a complex code. Okay, it is normal JavaScript. It is not 3JS. Okay. Now come back to our slide. Okay, everybody got the idea. How can it be done in a 2D way and in a 3D way? And in both the cases, we have used JavaScript. Right? Everybody got the idea? How the Flappy Bird can be implemented in 2D and 3D. Okay. So now let's come to that surprise platform. Okay. And where is my slide? Okay. So so what we are actually going to do today is P5 editor. Okay, P5 editor. Has anybody heard of P5 editor? And we are going to use object-oriented approach. Object-oriented approach. Okay, Ritu has already heard about it. Yeah, you have to write a lot of code for game development because you have to consider a lot of different situations, possible scenarios. So we have to implement, generally you have to implement. Okay. So P5 is a great platform and it is used to do lots of, you can say, artificial intelligence, data science related projects. So if there are some people who are using, who are here from data science background, they can use P5 editor. Okay. And in P5, we use JavaScript. Okay. P5 has some inbuilt libraries which are used for voice recognition, okay, your video recognition, image recognition, so which are inbuilt in P5. Okay, and also we are going to use object-oriented JavaScript approach. Okay, object-oriented JavaScript. So how many of you are here? Who are little bit, clear with the object-oriented JavaScript? How many of you know? If somebody has little bit of confusion, let me know. I'm going to anyway discuss the approach that we are following. Okay. So how many of you guys already know object-oriented JavaScript? You know a little bit of JavaScript. Okay. You know basics. Okay. Just started JavaScript basics. Okay. So I will just give a little bit of overview on object-oriented JavaScript. Okay. Because that's what we are going to use in this project. Okay, and I am sharing you the link of this. Just give me 1 second. So where can I do this? So okay, so for how long I was mute? Sorry about that. No. There is nothing to install. It's online. It's online. I'm sending you the link. Okay, I'm sending you the link, and once you click the link, you get this type of screen. The screen is, I guess, it is visible on the slide. You get this type of a screen once you click on the link. So, guys, who has laptop with an internet right now, you can click on this link. Okay, and if not, also I will send the link of the final project, so you will get the code at the end of the day. So no need to worry at all. You can just follow the session. That's all. Okay. So this is the P5. Okay. But before going into P5, okay, I will talk about little bit of a object-oriented JavaScript. So I hope everyone is ready for it. Okay. High five. Everybody is ready for object-oriented JavaScript. Little bit. Okay. So I'm not going to bore you guys. Believe me, I'll take a little bit concept. Okay. So what is happening? Yeah. So is the VS Code visible? Is the VS Code visible? Is the VS Code screen visible? Yes. Okay. So let's talk about what is a object-oriented JavaScript. So let's create a new folder, say test OOP. Okay. And I will take it outside. And I'll minimize the Flappy Bird one. I think I created a folder only. What is this? Sorry. I'll delete this again. So I'll create a folder, test OOP. Okay. Oh, I created a by mistake, created a file. So I will minimize this previous projects. I won't even look at it. So we are going to talk about some basics of object-oriented programming. Okay. So test OOP.js. I have created one JS file. Okay. So everybody is okay with this much. Okay. I've created a folder and I've created a JavaScript file. Test OOP. Okay. Guys, don't lose interest. This is the starting. This is the beginning. Okay. So there are different ways you can create object-oriented approach in JavaScript. So far, I am concerned at least 4 different ways. There are 4 different ways. Okay, one is using prototype. Okay, one is using object literals. One is using class and constructor, and another method which we are going to use is function. So functions in JavaScript are called first class object or first class citizens. Functions are called first class citizens. That means functions can be stored as a variable, and functions can have its own properties and methods. Okay. So how many people know about function in JavaScript? How many people know about function? And how many people don't know? Actually, how many people don't know? I think they are less in numbers. So they can say, I don't know. Don't know. Okay. So just for them, oh, okay, quite a handful of people. Okay. So before going to start, I will say function. Yeah, Python function and JavaScript functions are same, just as difference in syntax. If you know with Python function, then you will understand what is JavaScript function. Okay. So if you guys, some of you who are saying don't know, but you know function in Python, then you already know. But if you don't know either Python function or JavaScript function or any function, so for them, I'm going to explain. So function is a block of code which performs a specific task. Okay, specific task. Okay. Then function is a reusable piece of code. Okay. Okay. I'll zoom it. I think it's better. Which link? Okay, P5. Okay, I think Pratik, can you resend the P5 link? Function is a reusable piece of code, and yeah, so you can Yogita, you can get this link. And third is functions need to be called or invoked. Okay. So this is only for the people who don't know about function. Okay. So function is a block of code which performs a specific task. Function is a reusable piece of code, which means you create only once, but you can reuse it as many number of times as you want. And the third property is functions need to be called or invoked. Let's say you just created the function and you are not calling it, it's not going to work. So I'll create a simple example. Let's say I will add two numbers. Okay, I'm going to add two numbers. So function. So how it starts? How do you create? Sorry. Is my voice audible? Vinay? Everyone can hear me? Yeah. So Vinay, what's the problem? Everybody can hear me. Okay. So when you create a function, yeah, so it's loud and clear. Okay. I think Vinay, you have some audio check. You have to check your audio. So when we create a function, it starts with a keyword called function. Okay, it's a keyword called function. Then next there is a function name. So I say add numbers. Okay, function, then function keyword, then function name. Then there is a pair of round brackets, and then there is a pair of curly brackets. So this is a very old and the simplest way to create a function. Okay. Yeah, that's a plugin. Its name is forgot the name. The Power Mode. The plugin name is Power Mode. You can use that. Power Mode plugin. If you want, you can use. Okay. So function is a keyword, then the function name, then there is a pair of round brackets, then there is a pair of curly brackets. Okay. So everything, the executable code is written in between these curly brackets. The entire executable code is written inside the curly brackets. Okay. Everybody understood what is function? People who don't know, people who had no idea what is a function, do they understand what is a function? Okay, if yes, then yes. Okay, I'm asking to those who don't know function. Okay, so function is a reusable piece of code which does a specific task, and it can only work when somebody calls it. So let's say I create a variable, let's say a variable a. Variable is a place where you store data. Okay, so I'm storing 5 into a, and variable b equals to, let's say, 7. Sometimes I make mistakes. And then a variable c equals to a plus b, and I'm writing console.log c. Okay, so this is a function. Okay. Yes, pre-built means you are building. The developer is building. Sometimes there are inbuilt functions also that comes with JavaScript, and or you add some external library. So lots of predefined functions somebody has built. But here I'm creating my own function. Okay. So if I run this code, let's say cd. What happened? Test p. Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm in the wrong. Flappy Bird master OP. Okay. Sorry. To fill my cd test OP. Why there is a port 5500 in place of go live? Where is that? I don't understand the question. You are sending. Okay, I don't know why it is getting changed everywhere. I have no idea. Okay. It's a local host. Yeah, that is the port number. Okay, so every server has bunch of ports. So whenever a server can get multiple requests. So every request does not go to one port. It's like a sea beach. Okay, in the sea beach, if you have been to a sea beach and there are ships. So let's say a ship is coming from China, that will go to one port. A ship is coming from India, that will go to another port. A ship is coming from USA, that goes to another port, right? So different ports are there that receive different ships. So similarly in the server, there are multiple ports that receive multiple requests. So if somebody is using one port, that same port you cannot use because it is already occupied by some other request. Okay, so a server can have thousands, hundreds and thousands of ports. So each port is responsible for each request. Okay. Now, if I run this code here, node, and I say test, so nothing will happen. If you see the 65,536. Thank you, Cloud. Okay, so in this code, you can see no output I am getting. Though I have written a console.log, there is no output. Yes. So Vinay is correct. So we have to call the function. As I say, when you create a function, you have to call the function. So I will write add nums. So this is how you call. You have to just take this much portion and you have to post it again. So now if I run the code, I get 12. Okay. Got it? Understood, guys? What is a function? People who don't know about function. You have to create it, then you have to call it. If you don't call it, you will never make the function work. Guys, understood? Okay, everybody understood? Okay. Now, rather than passing them in this way, I can do it in a much simpler way because every time I'll call the function and I can call it as many number of times. Okay, I can call it as many number of times. Every time it will give the same output. Okay, let's say I rerun this. So it will give 12, 12, 12. Console log is actually prints in the screen. Whatever you print, you are getting it is for console log. It is logging the console in the console, logging the output in the console. That's it. Now I can, every time I'm getting 12, but I don't want to get 12 every time. I want to pass different numbers. So what I'll do, I use the concept of arguments. Okay. So let's say I pass here inside the brackets, I pass general values and function can return A plus B. Okay. And every time I'm passing different value, 12, 13, okay, 11, 5, or 6, 7. JavaScript is, I guess, no. Yeah, it may be case sensitive. Let's see if I do this. Yeah, it is case sensitive. Yeah, it is case sensitive. Yes. So if you run the code, what happens? Oh, I have to write console log for everyone. So I have to put, because I have not written console.log. So that's why I'm not able to get the output. Console.log and here and here. So I can use function to pass different numbers. Yes. And I get different outputs. You will get it later. Don't worry, Manish. You will get it later. See, I can reuse the function to get different outputs by I'm passing these variables. So when you pass 12 and 13, 11 and 5, 6 or 7, what happens? 12 gets assigned to A, 13 gets assigned to B, and it is returning whatever the value A and B has, and it will return. So I can use function in a reusable way. Okay. So we can use function. Okay. So now let's use this concept to create an object-oriented. Okay. So this part is done, right? Yes. This part is. So actually, I will ask Pratik, can you share me a accessible Google, Google Doc, so I can post it there.
Yeah, Jyotirmoy, can you please repeat?
So can you send me a Google Doc where I can post this code? They're asking for this code.
Yeah, sure. We'll upload it on our page so they can access it through AlmaBetter.
Okay. Yeah, the video will be accessible, so no need to worry. The video will be there. Okay. Now let's try test actual OOP. that was not an object oriented, that is just a function. So this is the actual OP concept. Let's say I create OP1, and what I'm going to do, I can create a function. Let's say I will say vehicle. Okay, and in the vehicle I will pass the name of the vehicle and the price of the vehicle. Okay, and here what I'm going to do, I can do this operator, this dot name equals to name, and this dot price equals to price. So this is when we are writing object-oriented programming. This is one of the ways you can create functions, and inside the function you can create its own properties and methods. Okay, so I have just created some properties, and I have to create a method. Let's say this dot display equals to function. This is a function expression. Okay, yeah, this means a vehicle. Basically means any kind of vehicle. It's a car, or it can be a motorcycle or whatever. So in this function, what are you doing? Return. Okay, and you will be writing I own, then dollar this dot name, and then dollar this dot price. That costs dot price. Okay, so now this is a function. Okay, this is a function object. Yeah, we are creating an object property and method. Correct, we are creating an object property and method. So now if I want to access, let's say a vehicle can have a car, can be, yeah, we can replace, but that is not recommended. That is not recommended. Okay, so this is a object-oriented way of writing function. Okay, object-oriented way of writing function. So this is not a normal straightforward way of writing code. This is object-oriented, where we use this operator. So why we are using this operator, I'll explain now. So let's say I want to create an object. So vehicle is an overall term. Vehicle, under vehicle, there can be cars, bikes, trucks, anything. So let's say I want to create an object of vehicle. So what I'll do, a variable car. Let's say I want to create an object car equals to new vehicle. Okay, new, sorry, vehicle. And inside that, I can directly pass the value. Let's say I say BMW, and price I will say $50,000. Okay, just hypothetically. And then let's say I create one more, car one. I take car one and car two, and car two. Yeah, you can say car and bike. That is also good. I'll say Mercedes, and I can give, let's say, $60,000. So what is happening? So now if I console.log, if I do console.log car one dot display, okay, and I call the method, what I'll get, say I'll clear the console, and I will run. It is just OP1. Okay, test OP1. So I'll get the BMW. I own the BMW that costs 50,000. Okay. So using the concept of object-oriented programming, I was able to access the first object. Okay. This is not printing Mercedes. This is not printing Mercedes. Why? Because I am printing with car one. So if I give also car two here, sorry, if I give car two, yeah, new is an operator. What it does is basically whenever it actually creates a memory location, it creates an object. Flappy Bird file. Yeah, we will discuss. Actually, you have not yet started, Flappy Bird. We will discuss about. So it creates an object. Okay. So let's say now if I run the code, node, actually, sorry. Yeah. So I'll get both of them. Yeah. So new creates instance every time. So I get both of them. See. So, but the important thing is it is not saying for car 2 BMW or car 1 Mercedes. So that is the use of this operator. So what this does is when I am creating an object using this constructor function, so vehicle is a constructor function. It is a function that's having the same name as the function. And I'm passing the value, this keyword. What it does? It attaches, okay, it attaches the value with this current object. It does not allow to attach the value with other objects. So car 1 का जो value वो car 1 में ही add होगा, car 1 के properties and methods में. car 2 का जो value मैं पास कर रहा हूँ वो car 2 के properties में ही add होगा. That guarantee is given by this operator. This means current execution context. मतलब जो value मैं पास कर रहा हूँ, these values will be added to car 1 के properties and methods. Okay, it will not be added with the properties and method of car 2. मतलब this मतलब ये current execution context. That is the power of this. Okay. So explain what is constructor means. Constructor basically use when we want to basically initialize. So that's where we use constructor. We will talk about that in a dedicated session of object-oriented JavaScript. So we will talk about that. Okay. So far now, guys, did you get an overall concept? What approach we are going to follow? This, if you let's say if you don't give this here, no, in the this, it will not work. It will create problems. So this means the current execution context means मैंने एक object create किया. So I am creating multiple objects. I can create 1 object, 2 objects, 500 objects. How many objects I want, I can create. So whenever I create an object and the values I am passing, that values will be attached with that particular object's properties and methods, not other objects. That guarantee is given by this operator. Okay. So I have to use this. It will otherwise it will not find which object के लिए मैं बना रहा हूँ. So it will create a problem. Okay. So this concept is clear so far. This operator, object-oriented concept. Guys who are new, it is going to take, honestly speaking, it is going to take a little bit of time, but it is doable. Okay, chala, no problem. So guys who don't know object-oriented JavaScript, just go and revise in W3 schools. Okay, there are a lot of examples. Okay, so that's good. That's good. So now let's move on to the actual project. Okay, I'm going to use this concept. So this concept is important. I'm going to use this concept to create the Flappy Bird. Okay. So let's go to the actual thing. So let's give me one moment. I'm setting up the platform. So okay. Okay. So yeah. No, where's the Zoom gone? I'm not able to find the Zoom. Just vanished. Oh, okay, here it is. So I'm going to talk about, okay. And okay, so I'll just come back. Everything is kind of okay. So can you see the P5 editor? Can you see the P5 editor? Okay, everybody can see P5 editor because the rest of the session, everything on P5, everything on P5. So P5 editor, it's a basically platform Okay, it's like Replit. So it's more advanced than Replit. Okay, because it comes with its own predefined methods, predefined some variables. Okay, lots of predefined things. And why I'm using, because I'm a lazy guy. I don't want to write HTML, CSS. So I want somebody to take care of HTML, CSS. I will call a method. The HTML part will be taken care. So that's why I'm using. P5. So is any other who is having problem with watching the editor P5? Is there anybody who can't see editor P5 editor? I think Shuhar is not able to see. Okay, Shuhar, just reload the page actually, or rejoin, I guess. Okay, no problem. So I'll go slow, no problem. Okay. So when you use P5, when you open P5, you will get these default files which are ready: index.html, style.css, and sketch.js. Okay, the names are given on purpose, sketch.js. So they understand these names. Okay, there are some predefined methods: setup method, draw method. Okay, so whenever you run the code, it starts from setup. It calls setup automatically. That's how the whole library is set up. Okay. So if I run the code now, see, it creates a canvas. So it is saying create canvas. Create canvas is a JavaScript method which is predefined in P5 that will create a canvas. So I don't have to do any kind of hard work. So it will do the HTML, CSS part automatically. So I can focus on JavaScript. Understood this part, everybody? What am I doing in the P5? I don't have to do any hard work on writing HTML, CSS. I will not actually write any HTML, CSS for this project. Everything will be taken care by the P5. Okay, guys? If yes, just say me a quick yes or high five. This code, no. This can work, but I am on purpose using VS Code just to make my life easy. In VS Code, I have to do all kinds of setup and everything. Okay. So what I'm going to do, okay, let's start now. So in this project, can anybody tell what are the two things I'm going to create? What are the two main things in this project? Can anybody tell? What are the two things I'm going to deal with? In the Flappy Bird project, what are the two things? You watch the video. One is a bird and one is a block. Block means pipe. Okay, I can say pipe. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I will create. So just 1 second. Pratik, are we going to take a break for 5 minutes? Pratik, are you there?
Yeah, Jyotirmoy. What was it?
Are we going to take any 5 minutes break or something?
It's up to you if you want to take a break of.
Okay, no, then fine. I think people are saying no, so we can continue.
Yes, please continue.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, I create a file called, I'll create a file like this. I name it bird.js. Okay. And once I create any JavaScript, I have to add it in the HTML. So I will just copy paste this line and change it to bird.js. Okay. Okay, cool. Great. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to implement the object-oriented consent. So function bird. Okay. So now what a bird can have in this project? A bird has a height. Okay. And a bird has means the coordinate of the bird basically. So let me explain you one thing before going into details. Oops. Yes, so it's like, okay. So let me go and show you something in the Jamboard. Okay. So if you see this, see. So if you have done geometry, coordinate geometry, I guess all of you have done, right? So this is the coordinate, okay? This is X positive, this is X negative, this is Y positive, and this is Y negative, okay? So we are basically, our canvas is actually here in the fourth quadrant, just to make you understand. Our canvas is in the fourth corner. So this top left corner as a 0 0. This is 0. Sorry, this is 500 and 0, and this is what is this? I think 0 minus 500, and this is 500 and minus 500. Okay, so this is where we are actually operating. Okay, this part understood. The canvas that I have created, the square, that is in the fourth quadrant. Okay, so the top left is 0 0. This is the center. Everybody understood this part? Why I am saying this? Because I am going to add gravity, velocity, and all that stuff. So then it won't be any confusion. Okay, if everybody understood this part, you can say yes, sir. Okay, it's in the fourth quadrant. And bird, I will keep the bird somewhere in the middle. Okay, so this length is x, and this is y of the bird. Okay, because I'm calculating from the top. No, we cannot select. That is by default given by the prefab. So it is always on the fourth quadrant. Okay, so let's come back. So what I am going to do now, where is P5? P5, yeah. So let's come back. Okay, so here what I'm going to do, I'll give a this dot x equals to 25. Okay, this dot y equals to height by 2. Okay, so height is basically a predefined variable that takes the height of this value. When you create a canvas, let's say I make it 500 by 500. So height will take this value of 500. Okay, so height by 2. Now then what I'm going to do, this dot show. Okay, this dot show, this is another function, and in this function what I'm going to do, fill. This is a predefined method, fill, where I can give a color. Let's say 0 means black, and ellipse, ellipse. So what is ellipse? Ellipse is a, you know what is ellipse. It has a horizontal length and a vertical length, and they are not equal. So it's a predefined function in P5. So they take care of every HTML, CSS part. Height is a predefined. So it's in the sketch.js. Whenever I declare the canvas, this is the height and the width. So that's from there it is taking the height. So I'll do this dot x, this dot y, let's say 16 by 16. So height 16. Okay. Now in the sketch.js, what I'm going to do, as I already declared that when I create a function, create an object. So I create a variable bird equals to, okay, variable bird ho gaya. And when we initialize, I have to put it inside the setup method. That's how P5 is done. So bird equals to new bird. So bird equals to new bird. So same way I created an object. And in the draw method, what I'm going to do, I'll just call that's how I can access the methods and properties of the function bird. So I'll get draw. Okay. So if I run the code now, what I get is, there's an error I'm spelling. Zoom is kind of getting problem. Just let me worry about it. One second. So bird.draw is not, oh, sorry, sorry. I wrote this is show, bird.show. I gave a wrong name. Okay, bird.show. So now if I run the code, see, I got the ellipse as a bird here. I'm not going to use this circle, but I'll replace it with an image shortly. Okay, everybody understood this part? I create a function bird.js just like before, car and vehicle, in a separate file, and I have added that in the index.html, and I am accessing by creating the object. Okay, so I am accessing the methods and properties. Guys, are we clear on this? How to create the bird object? Everybody clear? Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, let's say I'm going to replace it with some image. Okay. So I'll get var bird img. Okay. and there is a method called preload. Okay, function preload, and it's a inbuilt in P5. So what it does, it will help to display the image. Okay, and I'm going to take an image first. I already have an image. I've already saved before, which is a Flappy Bird kind of image. So I'll take the image and I will use that image actually. So bird image is equals to load image. Okay, so that part is taken care, and I will name it fp1.png. So I have uploaded the image. So I'm not going to use this circle. I'm going to use an image, actual image. And in the bird.js, what I'm going to do, I will give this dot icon equals to bird img. So whatever I have declared in the sketch.js, this bird img, I'm initializing with the image, and that image I'm putting here. This dot icon ko main de raha, and I'm going to replace this ellipse with this image. So what I'm going to do, this dot icon equals to image. This is also an inbuilt method. So it will take this dot icon, then its location, this dot x and this dot y. Okay. So now if I run this, I get an error. Let me check. I think I'm getting a line number 28. So what is the error I'm getting? Heading width. This is what I can do. Just let me check. Just give me 2 minutes. Just fix that. And I go to bird.js. This dot icon goes to image. This dot x, this dot y. It is giving error. Oh, okay. This dot show equal to function. So I'm going to I think I made a mistake. Okay. So if I run this, see, I made a mistake. There is a little bit mistake here in the typing. So now I can see the image. Okay. So everybody can see the image. So first of all, there is a entry point, which is a sketch.js. That is a by default comes with editor P5. Okay. So this is where the program execution starts. Now, then there is I am creating a bird.js because I'm creating an object of the bird, and there is there will be a pipe.js, which I'm going to create later. So basically 3 files: sketch.js, pipe.js, and bird.js. So I'm separating 3 files in 3 different modules. So it will help to understand the code. So in bird.js, I'm creating all the properties of the bird. And in sketch.js, I'm going to access those files whenever I need. Okay. Now, this is a little bit of a big image. So what I'm going to do, this dot resize, I can resize this. Okay, this dot resize, I'll make 30 by 30. Okay, I'll make 30 by 30. So if I run it now, this dot icon dot resize, this dot icon dot resize, and if I run it now, I'll get a okay. And also the background is kind of visible. So what I'm going to do, I'll change the background color here. It's given 220, so I'll make it 255. 255 means Now, how you have written the code, you have to check. Okay. See, you have to add the bird.js in index.html here. Have you done that? Have you added the bird.js in the script? So that you have to do. Okay. So now I am getting the bird, right? So now what is the next step? Can anybody tell? So the bird is actually on a certain height, but I can only make the bird jump or fly when I hit a certain key in the keyboard. Okay. So the bird, if the bird is already at a certain height, it should fall down by the nature of gravity, right? I cannot make the bird keep on a certain height. The bird will be laying on the ground, and when I'm pressing some key, so the files, you can see bird.js, index.html, stage.js, style.css. Okay, so index.html, stage.js, and style.css you will get by default. And bird.js you have to create here. You go to the select sketch files and you have to create file, and you create the bird.js. Okay. And once you create the bird.js, you add it in the index.html. Okay. So you will get the entire code at the end. Just now focus on watching the code. Okay. Now, by default, see, the bird should not be at a certain position. It should fall down. So how can I make it fall down? I have to add some gravity to it. So I'll say this dot gravity. I add some gravity, and then I will add some velocity. This dot velocity equals to 0. Okay. So if I check, if I let's say, where is that? Okay. So if I change to Jamboard, let me explain with you. Okay, guys, please respond. If you have any question, please ask. So what I'm going to do, let's say, so this is the 4th quadrant. Okay, and this is our canvas. Okay, and the bird is here, right? The bird is here. So when the bird falls down, that the bird falls down with a velocity. So that is called the velocity I have taken, this dot velocity. And also when it falls down, I am adding a gravity. So the velocity is always downwards. It's a downward velocity. And gravity is also a downward. So both are downwards. Okay. So velocity is not upward. Velocity is downward. So the bird cannot stay at one place. If I just keep the bird live there, it will fall down. That's the natural behavior of the bird. Okay. So what I'm going to do, let's go back to our coding part. Where is my P5? Yes. So what I'm doing, I'll create this dot update. I'll create another function, and each of them are function expressions. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'll do this dot velocity equals to this dot velocity plus this dot gravity. Okay. So what this will do, this will be added automatically. When I run the code, these two will be added. And what will happen? The height will go down. This dot y equals to this dot y plus this dot velocity. Okay. So the height will be increased because it is going down, 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 down. So now if I run the code, I have to actually call this. So I have to call this bird dot what is that? Update. Bird dot update. So now if I run the code, what will happen? It is going down. See, the bird is falling down. Everybody can see that. Everybody can understand what is happening. The bird is at a certain height, but I don't want the bird to be there. I want the gravitational force can. Yes, No, this dot y is the height. Height is the this dot y. The current y position is the height. So I am adding that one actually. This dot y equals to this dot y plus velocity. So velocity is getting added and the height is also increasing. But I don't want to go the bird below ekdam continuously below the ground. So I will make it lay on the ground on the base. So what I'm going to do, I will add some if else statement. So I'll say if this dot y is greater than equals to height, okay. So what I'm going to do in that case, I'll keep the height fixed. This dot y equals to height and this dot velocity equals to 0. Okay. So actually make it height less than 20. Means I want to make the bird visible. Yeah, you can actually go here, sketch files. You can create upload file and here you have to click. So once you click here, then from there you can get the images. You get your folder access. Okay. So in this case, what will happen if I run this checking here, the bird will come down and it will stay here. See, it is flickering because there is a concept in gaming which is called frames per frame count. So whenever you see something in computer, it is actually a combination of thousands of frames. Okay, so FPS, frames per second. Yes. So because of that, it is like giving a flickering effect. So if I use the ellipse, no, then it won't give the flickering effect. Yeah, you have to create an account. You have to first create an account. You have to log in, and then you have to create. No, height minus 20 because if I don't give, it won't show. If I don't give, the bird is actually laying on the ground, but it won't show. Yeah, it is actually below here. It is not visible. Just to make it visible, that okay, it is on the ground. I make it minus 20. Okay. So now it is visible actually. So bird is actually here. So I can make the same thing on upper limit. So when I'm pressing any key and the bird is going up, I have to make on the upper side also, I will to make the restriction that the bird should not go above the ceiling. So for that, I also make if this dot y is less than equals to 0. So what I'm going to do, this dot y equals to 0 and this dot velocity equals to 0. I cannot see it right now. I can only see this effect when I'm adding the jumping part. Okay. So it will not show anything, but it will show the bird is at the bottom. Okay, it is here only. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the jumping effect. So when I press the space bar, the bird will jump. So what I'm going to do for that, let's go to sketch.js. And there is a method called key pressed. Okay. What key press does basically. So if you don't know about JavaScript events, JavaScript is an event-driven language. Okay. So let me show you one website. So here it will show on which key press, what key will be used. Okay. So let's say if you can see there is lots of different websites. So I found this one. So whenever you press any key, let's say press Q, it will show a code. So for Q, the code is 81. For A, it is 65. For enter, it is 30. For space bar, it is 32. So JavaScript is an event-driven language. So whenever you press any key, that key has a equivalent code. It is called the key code. Okay? Understood? Key code. What is key code? When you press any key on the keyboard, it has a equivalent code. Okay. For space bar, it is 32. See, it is space bar. So I'm going to use that. Okay. So I'm going to use that. So what I'm going to write, the key press is a predefined method. So inside I will write if key code. So if it is predefined, it will change to red color. So key code equals to 32. What I'll say, I will create another function here, and I will name it this dot up. Okay, this dot up. So it will make the bird go up. So when I'm going to, so now I have to create that up method. Okay. So I'll create another variable. I name it this dot lift equals to, but when I'm making the bird go up, it will, yeah, these are ASCII. Yeah, you can say, yeah, you can something like ASCII value. It is not exactly same, but it has every key has its own code. Okay. So this dot lift means I want to make the bird fly upwards, which is against the velocity. So it will be a negative value. Let's say negative 12 kar diya, or negative 9, negative 10 kar diya. Okay. So it is minus 10. This dot lift is minus 10. So what I'm going to do, I'll create a method. This dot up equals to function. Okay. And here, what I'm going to do, this dot velocity equals to this dot velocity plus this dot lift. Okay. This dot velocity plus this dot lift. Now this dot lift is negative. So the overall thing is it will go up, 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 up when I press the key. So now if I run the code, so let's say it is here. And if I press, oh, sorry, in the sketch.js, I can use this. Here I have to use bird. So I'm accessing bird object. So now if I click here, if I press the space bar, see, it is going up. See, everybody can see how it is happening. I'm able to make the bird jump. So the lift is taking it up and the gravity is taking it down. So both are applied on the same time. And the velocity is also on the single, you have to keep pressing multiple times if you want to make the bird go up. Okay? So I guess we can take a little break for, let's say, a couple of minutes, and we'll come back and do the pipes. What do you think? The bird thing is done. So we'll do the pipes. Okay. Pratik, can we take a short break?
Yeah, sure, we can.
So 50% is done. I'll do the rest after the break.
Yes.
Okay, guys.
Everyone, take a short break of 4 minutes.
Yeah, 4 minutes is fine. Yeah, you can do.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so on the screen you want to see the code. Yeah, so in the you can see the bird.js. I've created an entire bird function, and of the bird function I'm creating an object on the sketch.js. So okay, is everyone back? Are you following what's happening? Okay, so far what we have done in the P5 editor, we created a bird.js file, and this bird.js is having the entire properties and methods of the bird. And in sketch.js, I am creating an object of the bird, and I am calling the methods in the draw functions, whichever I have defined in the bird.js. Okay. So now next thing, bird part is done. So I am designing it in a very simple way. I'm not adding lots of complexities. So this is a basic Flappy Bird game. So next part is what? What is the next part? Bird part is gone. What is the next part? Can anybody tell? Oh, sorry. I'm really sorry. Where is this? Yeah. So next part is pipe. So what I'm going to do is the similar way I have created bird. I'll create pipe.js. Simple. And I'm going to add this in the index.html, so it is accessible throughout the code. And I will write pipe.js. Okay. Yeah, these are obstacles actually. So now what I'm going to do, I have to create the same way the pipes. So what I'm going to do, function pipe. So now one more thing is just a simple just a notification is like whenever you're creating this type of functions as an object, the first letter try to give capital. Okay, it's a coding you can say standard. For bird also I have given the first letter capital. So when you create a class, you give the first letter capital. So similarly, when you're creating a functions like this, give the first letter as a capital. Okay, and this way you can create any games actually. So then pipe and then curly brackets. So what will happen? Same thing. I will create inside. I will create this dot. Okay, so before I will explain in pictorially what are going to happen actually. So let's go to the Jamboard again. So here, let's say, okay. So in the canvas, basically what is happening here, this, let's say this is the canvas, this is our canvas, okay, 500 by 500. So this is the bird here. It is like, so what will happen? There are pipes which will basically come from right to left. So I will have to create a animation which will make the pipes fly from right to left. So there will be an upper pipe, there will be a lower pipe, okay, and this gap, it's like it's not constant. They are not in a same place. So the second one can be like this and like this. The third one can be like this and like this. Okay. So they will come from right to left. They will pass through. Okay. Is this part understood? From right to left, this is the 0, 0 position, and the pipes will move from right to the left. Okay. Everybody understood this part? What is happening? So the pipes are moving from the right to the left. So I cannot put the pipes as a variable. I have to put them in an array. Okay. So I have to put them in an array. Let's say pipe 1, pipe 2, pipe 3. So I have to store them in an array and I have to pass them. I have to do a looping and I have to pass the array from right to the left. So let's go back to the code. So here, what I'm going to do. So this dot x, what is this dot x initially? Can anybody tell? What is the this dot? What is the initial position of the first pipe? The initial position of the first pipe. Let's say, let's go back to our screen also again. The first pipe is what is the means the x position. What is this x? This is the first pipe will be here. Okay. So the first pipe which will enter is here, kind of here. Yeah, 500. So basically this dot x equals to width. Okay. This dot x equals to width. Okay. And this every pipe, I imagine there is a width of w for every pipe, or let's say I give it 20. Okay. So every pipe has a width of 20, let's say. So I will create a variable this dot w equals to 20. Okay. And let's say imagine the height of each pipe. I will call it this dot top. This dot top. And there is a height of the bottom also. This is this dot bottom. I create two variables. One for the height of the top pipe, one for the height of the bottom. So how am I going to create it? Let's do that first. So let's do that first. Okay. So this dot x equals to width. Okay. This dot w equals to 20. This is basically width of each pipe. Okay. Width of each pipe. Then what is next is this dot top equals to, I will take a random value. So in P5, there is a inbuilt method called random. So I will use that random, and I will take a height by 2. Can we do that? Height by 2 random. It's like math.random in JavaScript. So it will take any random value between 0 and height by 2, means 0 and 250 ke beech, in between 0 and 250, any value it will take and put it in that variable. Okay, because I want random pipes. I don't want in every pipe on the same level. Okay, that part understood? What I'm doing here, random height by 2 means I am taking the pipes which has random heights. They are not on the same heights. Okay. Similarly, I can do this dot bottom equals to random height by 2. Okay. Same thing I've done for top, I've done for bottom. Now what I need is a speed. I want the pipes to move from right to left. So for that, I need a speed. Let's say the speed is 3. Okay. So everybody understand these many variables, what is happening? This dot x equals to width means initially the first pipe is at the right side of the canvas. So the initial position is the width. Second is the width of each pipe. Third is the height of the top pipe. Fourth is height of the bottom pipe. The fifth is the speed. So now what I am going to do, I will similarly like bird, I will create this dot show. Okay, I'll give function, a function expression, as a function as an expression. So what I am going to do, I want to create them. So how can I create them? First, I will background, I will give black color, and I will create, there is an inbuilt method called rectangle. So similarly, I created ellipse. There is another method called rectangle. So what this method takes, it takes the x coordinate. Okay, it takes the y coordinate. It takes 4 parameters. Then it takes this width of the rectangle, okay, and then it takes the height of the rectangle, width and height. So x coordinate, y coordinate, height and width. No. They are random values, so they are not the complete height. It can be any value between 0 and 250. So most of the time what will happen, there will be a space. Okay, so I'm not actually creating a space, but most of the time there will be a space. So just take this for granted now. Okay, I will show you. So this dot width and this dot height. So this dot top. Okay. So I will have done this for the first pipe, top pipe. This is for the top pipe. 1 second. And then this is for the bottom pipe. So I have to write bottom. Okay. Okay. So everybody understood what is this? I am creating top pipe and bottom pipe. Okay. But for the top pipe, what is the y position? What is the coordinate of the y position? It is 0, because the top pipe is at the top. And for the bottom pipe, this is height minus this dot bottom. So what is happening? I will show you in pictorially again. So let's come here. So what is happening is, see, set the background 100%. So let's say this is the canvas. Okay, this is the canvas. This is the top pipe. This is this dot top. This is the bottom pipe. This is this dot bottom. Okay, this height. This is the width. Okay, and this is the y position is 0, and the what is the y coordinate of the, so total is height. And how can I get this part? If I deduct height minus this dot bottom. Okay, that's where I get this, the coordinate of x. Okay, understood? How can I get the y coordinate of the bottom pipe? This minus height minus this dot bottom. Okay, understood? Got it? Clear? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish that part of the code. So now what I'm going to write here. So these two are done. Now what? So now I have to move the pipe. So this dot update. Okay, this dot update equals to function. So what I'll do, it's simple. I have to reduce the width. That's it. So this dot x equals to this dot x minus speed. That's it. That's simple. That's how I am making the pipes move from right to left. I am basically reducing the width, the current width minus speed. That's it. That's how I make the pipes move. Is that part clear? The update part? Everybody? How the update is happening? How the pipes are moving from right to left? No? Okay. So let's go and explain that. So basically, it's a very simple thing. So how the updation will happen? See, initially the total width is this dot. This is this dot x of the pipe. This is the first two pipes. So what I am going to do? So every time speed is means it is going this side. So this dot x minus speed. So now it is here. Then this dot speed minus x. Now it is here. This dot it is here. So it is moving from right to left. If speed is given, why we need subtract? Because speed is it's like a static variable. No, the program does not understand it's a speed. I gave the name as a speed. I have to make it look like as if the pipe is moving from right to left. So for that I have to give. Yeah, we will assign. We have already assigned it. So in the code, if you see, if you come to the, this is this dot x minus speed. Actually, this dot. Sorry, this dot speed. This dot speed. So now if I run the code, now what will happen? I have to actually create the pipes. Okay. But pipes I will create, as I said, I will create an array. I'll create an empty array. And what I'm going to do here, pipes dot push. These are array methods. So you insert anything inside the array, new pipe. So what you are doing? Sorry. What you are basically doing is you are basically creating an instance of this pipe. You are creating an instance of this pipe. And every time you are creating a pipe, you are pushing inside this array. So the array contains multiple pipes. Okay, got it? Understood? We are creating a pipe, upper pipe and lower pipe. And both we are putting in an array because the array can contain multiple pipes. I cannot work with only one pipe. So I have to make multiple pipes that can flow from right to the left. So I'm putting them in an array. Okay. These two lines. Everybody understood? I'm creating an array of pipes and I'm putting them in a array. Okay. Now what will happen when it comes to draw? I'll have to write a for loop. So let's come here. For variable I equals to 0, I less than pipes dot length I plus plus, and then what I'm going to do, pipes I dot show, okay, and pipes I dot update. Okay. So these are the each pipes are objects. So I am calling the methods from the pipe.js. Yes, everything is kept inside. So now if I run the code, what will happen? See, got the idea? The first set of pipe is created. The first set of pipes are created. Understood this part? If I run it again, it will create only one pipe, but it is created actually. The first set of pipes. Okay, got it? The upper pipe and the lower pipes are created. Okay, got it, guys? Is it a yes? How did I create the pipes? So in the pipe.js, I have created this properties, and I have created the show method and the update method. But only one pipe is created. So how can I solve that? So there is a, as I said, see, in the bird has a flickering effect here. Okay, the bird has a flickering effect. Why? Because there is a frames per second. So I have to check how many frames are there. Okay. So for that, I will write here, if frame count. So frame count is a predefined. It takes care of the frames per second. Percentage, let's say 80 frame. So after every 80 frame count, I want to create another pipe equals to 0. Then what I'll do, I'll copy paste this line. It will create a new pipe. Okay? It will create a new pipe. Yeah, set interval also you can use. You can try with set interval. If you find that's better, you can use that, no problem. So let's see what's happening. See, there are multiple pipes created. Cool. We are almost done with the game actually. Okay. So this is how. So you have to fine tune. You have to fine tune with the velocity, gravity. That's it. Yeah, frame count 1 or more. Okay. Yeah, we can make it more fancy. Yeah, there is a CSS file. See, there is a CSS file here. So you can try adding CSS. I'm not a very big fan of writing CSS, so I don't know, spend time on that. So this is the basic game is done. Now what I can do, what more things I can add? So I have to detect where the bird is touching the pipes or not. Okay, that is the next thing. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. When the bird touching or hits the block, what I'm going to do for now, I'm going to change the color of the block. I'm going to change the color of the block. So for that, what I'm going to do, I have to check for every time, okay, every time when the pipe is created, so I will check if pipes I dot hits the bird. Okay, in that case, console dot log bird hits pipe. But hits बोल के कुछ है नहीं. There is no predefined method called hits. So I have to create a hit method. You are right actually, Mohammed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to the pipes. So for this, there is a little bit complex thing. Okay, so just stay with me. So what am I going to do here? See, let's explain how can I implement the hit method. Okay, so let's explain how can I implement the hit. So let's say, okay, so let's say the bird is here somewhere, and there is a pipe above, there is a pipe below. Okay, so there are two situations. One situation is if bird hits the upper pipe, okay, bird hits the upper pipe. Or second is if bird hits the lower pipe while jumping up and down. Okay, while jumping up and down, either it can touch it this way or it can touch it this way. That is one situation. Second situation is horizontally, either it can touch the left side or it can touch the right side. Okay, there are two possible situations where the bird can touch the pipes for both upper and lower. Okay, is that part understood? When the bird is flying, it can hit the block either on the y direction or in the x direction. So in the y direction, either it can touch the upper pipe, or in the y direction, it can touch the lower pipe, or in the x direction, it can touch on the left side or on the right side of each pipe. Okay, is that understood? So I'm going to implement this logic here. Guys, everybody understood this part? how it is touching the left or right or up and down. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add that part here. So we are almost done. Now this is this. I'll create a method called highlight equals to false. So this will change the color of the pipes when I touch them. So here I have to implement this dot hits. This dot hits. Okay. And here what I'll do, I will say if this dot y, and I will create much better. This dot y is, if this dot y is less than, sorry, not this dot y, if bird dot y is less than this dot top, okay, or bird dot y is greater than this height minus this dot bottom. So either it means either it is touching the top pipe or the bottom pipe, that is in y direction, or if also I have to check for x direction. So this bird dot x is less than, is greater than, bird dot x is greater than this dot x. Okay. And bird dot x is less than this dot x plus this dot w. So what this does is it is checking whether the bird is touching any pipe upper and lower or in the horizontal direction. Okay, this part is a little bit complicated, I know, but once you go through the code, you will understand. So no need to worry. So if these two conditions satisfied, what I'm going to do, I make it this dot highlight equals to true. Okay, and return, I want this function to return true. Else, I'll come to the else part. Else part, it will be this dot highlight equals to false, and it will return false. Okay, so this part is done, hits. And what I'm going to do, when I am getting the highlight true, I change the color of the pipes. So that's how I indicate that bird is hitting the pipe. So what I'm going to do in the when I'm coloring the pipes, so what I'm going to do, if this dot highlight, okay, what I'll do, fill red means 2 RGB, so 255 0, 0, red, green, blue. So I'm making only the red works. Okay. So use of highlight means I am checking when the bird is hitting any of the pillars. So make that variable true. Initially the variable is false. Okay, it's kind of like a flag. So if this condition is checked, when these two of the both the condition get satisfied here, these two, it means the bird is touching either of the pipes, or top or bottom, or left or right. So in that case, make this one true. Once means the bird has touched the pipes. So I'm making that happen with the help of this variable highlight. Okay. So and once the highlight variable is true, what I'm going to do, I'll change the background color of each pipe. Okay. So now I will run the code. Let's see what happens. Okay. So now it is going like this. It is going like this. But see, when I touch the pillar, see, it is getting red. Means got it? Why I have done that? When it touches the pillars getting red. Means, and also in the console, if I check the console, it will display that bird hits pipe. See, bird hits pipe. It is showing. Understood? Got everything clear, right? So this much is for today. I mean, you can add some more stuff. Let's say, sir, why don't you add some score? You can say, right? So we can add some score also. I can add a score variable score equals to 0, and I can create a score here. There are some predefined thing equals to plus score, then 20, let's say 100. So if I do that, and some more things are there, let's say I create a variable called this dot path. This is like an extra thing. Just I am adding just to make it more, understandable. So I am creating a variable called this dot passed. Okay, which is of means if the bird passed the pipes, the score will increase. So for that reason I'm doing. So let's say I have added this method, this dot pass, and I will add it somewhere in between. And then here, no problem. And in the sketch.js, I will add this. Yeah, if the bird passes, it will display the code score. Okay, so I'll leave it up to you guys to take it forward, make more modifications. Okay, so I'll just add the scoring part, but it is not a complete scoring part. It is just, it will show the score, that's it. But there are errors. So if I run the code now, let's say I run it, so you get a score. Okay, so what is happening? Okay. Node properties 32. Pipes dot pass. Oh, actually, it has to go inside the loop. So it is not able to access I. So I'll put it here. Yeah. So now if I run this, so see, every time it passes, the score also increases. So what the score is not decreasing. So that part I left to you guys to try to improve that part. Okay. Yeah, the minimum gap is actually you can implement. You can create another variable. You can say this dot gap equals to 20, and you can make it like this dot. You can make it like height minus this dot top minus this dot gap. So that formula you can use. You can use like height minus this dot top minus this dot bottom. So that you can implement. So this dot gap. So this thing you can try to implement. Okay. So here most of the time what is happening is we don't need it actually. So most of the time it is creating some gap. So that's why I have not given that strict checking kind of thing. But yeah, it's actually a good point. You can implement using this formula and also try to implement the reducing of score. Reducing of score. So it is just every time, even if it is touching, it is increasing. So you can try to implement the reducing. So it is now, it is passing through, increasing the score. So when it will reduce the score, because when it touches any of the pipes, it will reduce the score. So these two part is, I left it up to you guys as a home assignment, okay, as a homework. Okay, guys. So that is the complete Flappy Bird project. Okay, I will send you the link of this project here. If I go to file and save, so it will create a link. So the link is there. You will get the link here. So you can use this link. So before that, you have to create an account, and then you have to access this. It will be stored in your own account, and you can access the code there. Okay. So any questions, guys? We are almost completing we are have 4 or 5 minutes left. So yes, this is if you keep doing it every day, this type of projects, then you will develop a lot of skills on JavaScript. Canvas is a HTML element that is used to create this type of designs. Like if you want to create in a square, it's a drawing. Like in drawing, canvas. What is a canvas in drawing? The actual painter, what they do painting on canvas. So similarly in HTML provides an element which is called HTML5 actually, which is called canvas HTML tag. So with canvas tag, you can do lots of this type of visual representation. Canvas and SVG, scalable vector graphics, both are important. So you have to okay. So you can access the code, try to implement the gap, try to implement the reduction of the scope. So when it hits the pipe, how to reduce the scope? That also try to implement. Okay, these two things. Either you can reduce the code or you can say game over. Either of them. The gravity and velocity is no. I created them. No, see in the variable I created them. This dot velocity, this dot gravity. I have given my own values. These are not system defined. These are user defined, developer defined. I created these two variables. Velocity is a variable. The initial velocity is 0 because the bird is at the top. So when you press the space bar, the bird goes up, and after a certain height, the velocity becomes 0. So initially the velocity is 0, and the gravity is 1. So you can fine tune. You can check. Let's say try gravity with 0.9, 0.5, 0.6, or 1.1. So let's see how it performs. So the fine tune this, and you can make this bird go. Okay. So did you get the overall idea? Like I'm not talking about in details, but actually overall what is happening using the object-oriented JavaScript, we are creating a pipe, we are creating bird, and there is a main file sketch.js where I'm accessing those methods, and that will eventually create the game. Okay. So there are lots of games you can create. You can create ping pong game. You create return the score or end the game. So either return or end. Okay. So that part I left up to you. So you can take care of it. Okay. So there are a little bit mathematical calculations, and if you go much inside, you will understand what are the logics I've applied, what are the different calculations are being done. It's all about that's it. That's all is here. Yeah, there's the internet. I think the internet is down. Okay, so you'll get the recording. I'll send the code here. I think, let's say I'll paste it here, but I don't know whether you receive or not. This is how you create a basic function. Okay. Okay, Vishal. Thanks, Vishal. Thanks, Arvindo. Thanks, Anusha. Yeah, thanks, Aman. Oh, everyone. I don't know why it's getting changed by default to direct message. I have no idea. It's automatically gets changed. Okay, thanks, Anil. That's at least I was able to help. I think you got an idea about how object-oriented JavaScript works, right?
All right, everyone. I believe Jyotirmoy is facing some network issues, so we can wrap up the session. And thanks a lot, everyone. We can wrap up the session now.
Okay, I'll give you my LinkedIn and email. Yeah, I will send the email, the LinkedIn ID and email address, so they can, if they have any questions, they can contact.
All right, that's great.
So let me send you the. Oh, my internet is actually. Internet is a little bit down now. I don't know what happened.
No worries, Jyotirmoy.
Actually, you can search with my name. Okay. ठीक है. Or you can send email. I'll send you the link because no, it's coming. One second. It's coming. So I'll send it. Yeah. So here's my LinkedIn ID. So if you guys are not connected, just connect me. Okay. So that's all for today. Okay. Okay, Pratik. So I think I'm done for today.
Sure, definitely, Jyotirmoy. Thanks a lot for conducting the wonderful
no
session.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
So
you. You can run.
I'll disconnect the Zoom. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye bye.